Welcome everyone to Let It Cook. What's going on, Pierce?
What's going on? I'm ready to do some cooking. 9 a.m. cooking. A little early for some cooking.
8 a.m. cooking. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
This is a brand new live stream here on the vscode channels where we let it cook. We are vibe code nonstop pretty much as long as we can on awesome projects that we're personally working on. So this is real stuff that we've been building, sometimes at work, for work, and sometimes in our spare time, just because that's how we vibe. And we like to keep the vibes high, but you know, the vibes, they can ebb and flow. They can ebb and flow. I've been thinking, Pierce, about building a vibe at Build. We have a vibe coding booth that we're setting up, and you'll be vibe coding there.
I'm going to be there.
We'll be live streaming all throughout Build as well. So even if you're not in person, you can vibe with us. And we're going to be building stuff. So this show kind of live, and this is a brand new show. So we want to do it every single week. As much as we possibly can, or we just keep working on stuff. We'll have different guests on where people are showing off different projects, because everyone sort of codes and vibes with GitHub Copilot and VS Code in different ways, right? Like, I think that's what I've learned a lot by watching a lot of videos, a lot of streams, a lot of coding going on. And as the product evolves, there's all these new mechanics that really help you optimize how you're working in VS Code. So that's what we kind of want to do here on the show. Does that sound about right?
That sounds amazing. Yeah, we're going to show you behind the scenes. So like this week, for instance, sneak peek, we're going to show you some things that we're going to release in our next stable release that maybe we haven't talked about. So you definitely want to be here because you're going to get to pick up, like James said, on some of the like tips and tricks of how we're partnering with things like agent mode. But also you'll get to see some of the cool new features that we maybe aren't tweeting about, but are coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we were supposed to have another friend with us, Burke, Holland, but last night he told me that he was vibing so hard that he legitimately fell out of his vibe chair at 3 a.m. and forgot to wake up. So he's not going to be vibing with us this morning. But yeah, let us know what you've been working on. Lance here said he's more from Wisconsin, loves some Wisconsin cheese over there, working on some Unity 3D apps. Let us know what you're going to be working on as well. So, and where you're from and what your vibes are this morning. I just made some brand new coffee. Pierce got some Starbies, I think.
If I can find it. Yep.
Good. Pierce and I have worked together for 13 years, so we've been vibing hard for a long, long time. And yeah, we're going to go back and forth on a bunch of stuff. So do you just want to get into it, Pierce? What are you thinking?
Let's do it. You want to start?
Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and bring on my screen over here. Boop. Cool. So this is an app that I've been working on. It's called Feedback Flow. And I know, Pierce, you're a fan of the Feedback Flow.
Big fan. Yep, big fan.
So right now I have it in just demo mode. I could run it all live in my back end and my front end and all this stuff as well. But so this is my friend. This is a Blazor app. I'm a C#.NET developer primarily. And the whole idea is that there's all sorts of different conversation happening in these different places. And what I want to be able to do is like get a video and then, you know, analyze it. So this goes off and it'll grab all of the comments and you
look at that animation.
nice little confetti pop there. Only the first time though.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah. You got to change that. I need the dopamine hit of that
every single time. I think if you change the sources, I think it'll do it. Actually pop it up. We'll see. That actually hit. Oh, I hit a breakpoint. Perfect. The vibes are there. Boom, there we go again. So what it will do is it'll go off and it goes off and it grabs all of the comments from that YouTube video, from Hacker News, from the GitHub issues, Reddit, whatever it is. And then it uses Azure AI and it does sentiment analysis and it does a whole report basically here. And then you can copy it. It's all in Markdown that comes back and I convert it to HTML. You can speak it back. That's cool. And then you can also like load feeds. So you can like do Reddit feeds or Hacker News feeds. And then you can customize stuff, right? So you have like light themes and dark themes. You can use custom prompts if you want. So all the prompts are completely customizable here. Little save buttons. So you can like load different languages back as well, which is kind of cool. And this entire thing was 100% vibed out, Pierce. I wrote maybe 20 lines of code, I think, here.
You ruined it. You should have not read the 20 lines. Then you could have said, I literally vibed this whole thing.
It was really close. There was some funky JSON deserialization that I just couldn't get around. Nice. I had to really dive deep on the thing. But yeah, this project, actually, I can just like show you my, let me stop running this thing. My custom instructions over here.
Yeah.
This is what they look like. And this is like the first magic secret, I would say, to making this project successful. One, I love these buttons, by the way. They're my favorite buttons to button.
I like the way you say general. Button. You really emphasize the button part.
So I basically give it the project structure. I tell it where the GitHub repo is. The primary branch I work off is main, because at one point I was in a different branch, just so it knows. And then I just outline the structures, and then I kind of have like, here's what I like about Blazor stuff, right? I want Blazor CSS files. I want light dark theme. Here's my code style, different component structure, error handling, performance things I like, testing, which I should just delete that because you don't need that. Test, don't test. No,
test.
But here, see this? Write complex component logic tests only if I ask for tests, which I never do. So
it's funny because I'm the opposite. Like that's one of my instructions is to always write tests and run them every single turn with the model. That way I make sure I'm not breaking anything. But this is what I'm saying. Everyone does it slightly different, right? So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and then I have some documentation, in general, if I like docs and security and different accessibility things as well. So it's about 75 lines. And this project is broken up into a few different things. So I have like an Azure function backend. So all my Azure functions are here. This is like getting YouTube feedback. There's one for Hacker News feedback. I have content feed. So this will like get all the Hacker feed articles, and this will get like all the different Reddit threads and things like that. And then inside of here, I also have where's my analyze one? Boop, boop, boop. Here we go. Analyze comments. Cool. Up here. So this is someone was asking in the chat, like, how does it analyze stuff? That's a good question. If I could figure out how to use vscode. Here we go. Oh, I got to drop it down. There we go. Analyze comments. Boom. So this goes off, and it basically I just send it a huge blob. I'm just like, here's all of the stuff that's here, and then I just analyze it. So I have an analyzer service that's shared because I also have an MCP server. So why wouldn't you? That was also vibecoded 100%. So this uses the Microsoft extensions for AI, which is like an AI package for .NET. But basically, I just create an OpenAI client, which is talking to Azure. Right? Nothing too crazy.
Right.
I get a chat client, and this is going to blow your mind. Like all I do is I get a specific prompt. So whatever that prompt is that I showed you, I add that as the system prompt. And then I send in a user prompt, which is the data that I format basically. Yeah. And then I just get the response. So I'm basically saying like, here's what you are, here's how you analyze it, here's how you do stuff, and then grab all that stuff.
So what model are you using for all the analysis on the Azure side?
That's a great question. I'll drop the link here to this GitHub repo in the chat for everybody. So I started with a GPT-4o mini because I'm just on my free credits, my Azure free credits. So
I love it.
Got to do
I'm
that.
the same way.
Just got to tell you vibe is just that. And then I just recently switched it over to 4.1 Nano because I was like smaller, cheaper, faster. I'm in. So that's what I just switched it over to. It works really well. So I can run this all locally. I have everything in user secrets and things like that. But I figured what I wanted to do, so everything that I've been doing in the application, let me go and rerun it here. So far, I've been building it as people have requested features. So when I started, in about a day, I had like YouTube and GitHub and like one other service or whatever. Hacker News, I think, because David had written quite a bit of stuff. And then I added on all these other things. There's like our dev blogs at Microsoft, like Twitter and Blue Sky. And then you just like paste some text in here and just like go to town. But I don't have any way of saving any, like no history, right? So as soon as you analyze something and you get, it coming back here, I also had it mock out. So I was like, I want to be able to actually not hit all my services and waste all my tokens. So I was like, just mock everything and it created mock services for me. So I want to add like a save button and I want to have like a history here, but I don't want a backend. I don't want a service. Like I just want to do it in the browser. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, and I'm almost thinking like, so I actually use this app. Like I did an AMA with Mario and Martin from the GitHub team last Friday on Reddit about Copilot and VS Code and other places. And I literally used this app after the AMA to summarize the feedback. So something that I'm also thinking as you're describing this is The other thing that'd be cool, I mean, we can still do it even if you're doing like in-memory storage for the history, but it'd be cool. We're probably not gonna have time for this, but it'd be cool in a future session to also be able to say, okay, we analyze these 5 agent mode YouTube videos. Here are the themes from each video, but now summarize the themes of the themes, right? Across all these videos, because that's like a super common thing we do as a product team, right? Is what's the themes we're seeing across all our channels, right?
Totally. Yeah. And in fact, what's cool is that you can actually do multiple URLs, comma delimited, or a whole playlist, and it'll grab all of it.
You can do that? You gotta let me know I can do know I didn't know that was a thing.
It says it. See that right there? It says comma separated.
I don't read any of that. I don't read the docs. I don't read your placeholder. I don't do anything.
That's very true. That's why I made it easy. Originally, it was like only IDs, and I was like, no, you got to go parse URL. So I have a whole utilities class here of where's like URL parsing. So this URL parsing is, I'm like, no one's gonna figure out what the ID is. I'll figure it out for you. You know what I mean? So
my favorite logic to write.
I didn't write it. So.
I know. That's my joke. Is like you didn't have to deal with it. You're
didn't
just
have
like
to
deal with that.
Yes, correct. Okay, so here's what I want to start with. I'm gonna start with a new branch. Actually, I'm gonna commit this first. So let's just go ahead and generate that message. Perfect.
Like that fancy custom instruction you got for generating that commit message there.
Gotta have it.
Lots of emojis. Gotta
have the emojis. So let's sync that up first. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna create a new branch. When I you know how I think of vibe coding, someone was asking like, what about for a new developer? I think about vibe coding as just like developing, basically. Like it is, but just figuring out how to work with the chat and the Copilot parts of it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say feature history. There we go. And
you could have vibe coded your way into a new branch, by the way. You could have just been like, Copilot, make me a new branch. That's totally something you could have done. I don't know how well it'll work, but in theory it should work. You're in ass mode, by the way.
That's very true. Yeah. Well, I guess the question is like, oh, look at all these numbers. There's so many numbers.
Oh, fancy. We should talk about that.
That's new. Point. That's a thing. Yeah,
that's a thing. Yep.
If I wanted to add a history feature to the web app without any, this is how I start. Sometimes I know how you like to vibe. Sometimes I like to figure out what I'm doing first. I don't know if it's a vibe best practice, but
I think it is. It's good to pre-think about it, because then when you actually want it to go do it, it does a better job. I will say though, one tip. So you're using Copilot base here, which is actually GPT 4.1, which is a great model. But typically for like these planning tasks, I like to use like a thinking model. So something like Sonnet 3.7 thinking or a model like that would be great. So like for any sort of planning or brainstorming tasks, they take longer, which is why you don't want to use it in something like writing code, right? Because you don't want it to think all the time, because then it would take forever. But it's great for these brainstorming things.
Of the navigation and on the analysis, history feature for the analysis to the web app without any background service code. I want to store all this in the browser. I want to update and navigate on the analysis. What steps would I need to take to do this? So someone was asking if I'm a new developer, right? Like what should I kind of do? Now, I guess I just gave it just program CS. Should I give it the code base for this? Or
yeah, because in ask mode, we're not doing like a full code base search unless you explicitly use the hashtag code base hashtag thing. I kind of wish we did but that's a different discussion.
So I just added a pound code base. So now it's going to search the whole code base. So you can actually see how I knew immediately what it was doing because I understand what's happening in the thread, right? So I think the more that you use the tool, you kind of understand it.
Well, and like you said, like when you see almost immediately, like, crap, I forgot to add this to my prompt, you can stop it, right? In the prompt box, there's that stop thing and just fire it off again, right?
Yeah, see here, watch this. I see already, I'm like, cool, that's good. But I said, so I don't want that. I said in this code base, don't show me any code, just give me the steps and potentially where I would do this, right? So like, this is how I'm kind of like interacting with it. I'm kind of like, imagine you and I are like specking out this feature. You're like, hey, I'll go into this file, do this thing. I'm like, no. Like I want to do this. What about this? What about that? Right? So now it's cooking. And we say cooking, by the way, because like when you're cooking something, you're making a big stew. like you're going to want to basically, to take some time,
Yep.
it's not a slow cooker. It's just normal cooking. So, okay, so let's look at this puppy here. So, all right, this is good. So we got some data models, represent history, source, ID, timestamp, summary. It's going to go into there, implement the history search, register the service, going to create some UI. Yep, that looks good. Update navigation. I love it. This is so good. Some visual indicators, show badges or counters for history items. All right, sure. History management. I didn't even think of that. I was just going to have you never be able to delete anything. So that's good. All right. Oh, and
so
I like that.
That's something I actually do, and I'll show later in my demo, is like you can also do like custom instructions and prompt files to guide planning, which is something I do a lot because I'm like, I want you to think about things I'm not already thinking about, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to be like, no, not that. You're overcomplicating it, right? Because then that's the other consequences. Like maybe some of these things you're like, that's too much. But that's a cool thing now. You can kind of iterate with a model and be like, this is what I want. This is not what I want, right? Then once you have this plan, go to agent mode, be like, do it, please.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I did that recently. So down in my VS Code folder. Let me open that puppy up. VS Code folder. I have GitHub folder. I have a prompt, and I have this prompt. It's called implement new service. So when I was doing this, I had 2 or 3 services, and then I would have it like go figure out what I needed to do next. So I implemented a service, and then I said, create a new implementation prompts for me based on exactly what you just did. And then it created this file for me with a checklist. Cause I'm like, you just did that thing perfect. And after I iterated with it, now go figure it out right here. And then I smoothed it over. Then I was like, oh, here's what I really want. Here's what I want. So this is like pretty specific to this project, but it is like kind of what I want in general. Okay. So the cool part is you can actually just switch to agent mode from ask. Fun fact, just not edit mode. Just not edit mode, right? So
God forbid.
Yeah, you can't do that. But you can put it here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna use. What do we want to use? I'm gonna use 3.5. I think it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
I think base would probably be okay.
Yeah, base is great.
Yeah.
It's GPD 4.1, which I think like. This is why you joined in the stream. You're getting the inside tips. I think that's the model we actually see the fastest time to first token on right now.
Yeah.
So that's like the fastest that you're going to be to see stuff streaming in. So it's a pretty fast model, and it's pretty capable as well.
So here, for example, if I didn't like this, I could copy it into a prompt file, and then I could actually just put in the prompt file here. So there's this prompts directory here.
Yeah.
And then I could give it a prompt specifically, and I could just drag that file in. But I actually think this is probably pretty decent in general.
Yep.
Okay, and then here I'm going to say review the so I can review the code and make sure to ask me any questions along the way coming from this plan. So for example, I can see that this is saying or, right? There's no ors in vibes. There's always and. It's always just do. It's like Home Depot. We get it done. The stream not sponsored by Home Depot.
We should get them as a sponsor though.
Okay, cool. The client. Okay, and yeah. So this is good. So see, I wanted to make sure that it understood what I'm doing. So I'm gonna let it cook.
Yep.
Now it's cooking.
I think there's also like. I mean, it's kind of interesting because like every project's different. Like in some projects, I want like a lot of architecture and you to really break everything out into its own class and interface and all that. Other projects, I'm like, I just need you to do the thing, right? And so sometimes I need to give it that feedback in the planning stage of like, I think you're overcomplicating this, basically. And sometimes it's like, I think you're not complicating this enough. Like you need to better architect this. So that's where being a developer is useful, right? Because you can prod it in the right ways.
Yeah, so this is good. So this is fun. Again, this is kind of my vibe, right? I think everyone's so I'll tell you, like, so some people are asking again in the chat. I love the questions coming in, like in general, like when to go in, when do you want the space? Well, you're in control. I could have just said, YOLO, just do it, just do everything. Yep. Don't ask me any questions. I trust you. I'll review the code when I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a pretty mature project at this point. Like I can't, and this is a pretty big feature I'm adding, right? If this was something small, Like if I was like, hey, just go update the confetti to just happen all the time, like multiple times, I would just let it go, right?
Right.
But here, for example, it would have missed adding the source type. Source type. Oh yeah, see, look, it's even like, hey, you know, and then the field so we can track. So source type, user input, and results. Yeah, let's add in the source type. And because manual mode can take user input, let's also track that. Should we store the comments at all that come in, or probably not? Because I think it's just the comments for that article.
The comments for what? Like the feedback comments, or what do you mean by comments?
Yeah, so if I go to like the feedback,
the data model.
If I go to the feedback flow app, right, and I do analyze this YouTube,
I can't see it right now, by the way, if you're showing it.
I'm not, but I guess I could run it. Okay, so if I am going off and I am analyzing like a YouTube comment thread, right, and it comes in, what data should I store from that? Should I just store the analysis of it, or should I store like, here are the comments also that were analyzed too? Might be a lot of
yeah, that's a good, I would probably just start with the analysis, right?
Analysis. Yeah.
Especially since we're storing it in memory, right?
Yeah, in the browser, in your app browser cache. So okay, cool. Okay, yeah, let's just do manual mode. Okay, let's take perfect. Okay, let's do that. Okay, cool. All right, so someone asked in the chat here, Shahid, what's the difference between prompts and custom instructions?
That's a great question. So I will show some of this in a second, which will demystify it a little bit, but basically custom instructions are like the one James showed at the beginning of this demo is attached on every interaction to Copilot. Yeah, so this is sent every single time he's typing something in this prompt box. This file is sent up with it. So it's basically like, if you want global stuff, yeah, boom, then this is a good way to control it. However, like there's certain things that maybe it's not so much an instruction, but a repeatable workflow that I want to do over and over again. So like I have some for planning. Like I have a planning prompt. Here is how I want to plan a new feature with you. And that has a whole bunch of things. And I want to be able to reuse that across all of my projects, right? Or even within the same project. And so then I create a prompt. If I notice myself doing something a lot, the same type of prompt, I can go and really build a good prompt for that and then basically make it a prompt file. So think of it as like just a way to refactor your prompts so you can get more reusability and use them over and over and over again. Like when I go talk to James and I go talk to a lot of internal teams, like the thing I always tell them is like, go take all of your like most senior engineers and have them go write these prompts, because like same things with the instructions, right? Because you know the code base, right? And that's a great way for you to document it so that any junior developer in your team, or even you, like you don't, every single time you're interacting with a model, you don't have to go and repeat yourself. It's just giving the model the same context you already have, right? So that's super cool. It's like a superpower of using, in my opinion, like the integrations here inside of VS Code. But most people don't do that, right? They're just kind of like, I'm just going to take the base setting and hope for the best. But the more context you give the model, it's not unique to VS Code, right? It's going to give you better output. And same thing with this planning workflow, right? James could have done just vibes, like just do it, right? But he's like, no, I want to review the plan. I want to give feedback, right? And because he has this really structured plan, when he passes it to the model, it's going to do a much better job in theory.
Yeah, and it has the context, right? So it knows what it did, what we changed, and it can understand the context of what's going on in general. Compared to the prompt is like, I've kind of given it a prompt, and the prompt was these just instructions up top, right? So ideally, I could have taken this and put it into a file. But imagine you are like, you have maybe like some best practices that you have in your application. So for example, like this is how you create components in React, or how you create a custom control, or this is how you do this. You're like, hey, I'm going to create a new confetti component, use this prompt, which will outline like how you do that thing, right?
Yep.
In general. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so it created some stuff. I'm gonna stop debugging. I don't need that. Okay, cool. Let me drop down some stuff so I can read code. I have everything big. This is how I code in real life, but everything's big. Okay, cool. So we have this. See, in my custom, see, this is also like where I actually somehow like oddly disagree with my custom instructions.
That's like, the problem. It's respecting your own instructions.
See, it is. See, yeah. See, always implement iDisposable. Like, I don't want to. So like now I'm just modifying it here. So like, but it's probably a best practice, but like that's not how I code. But I don't know. I guess I'll leave it there.
But this is like a great example. Like people are always like, well, I need to spend all this time building the instructions. It's like, no, like, well, add some stuff at the beginning, but like as you're building stuff out, you'll notice things like this and add or remove things from your instructions, right? Mm-hmm. So this is like a great example of how I partner with instructions as well.
All right, cool. So a lot of people ask when I vibe, what am I looking for here and what am I doing? I'm doing a very quick code analysis and overview of like what's happening here. So yeah, let's move the interface into a new folder called interfaces. Close by. Close by. So there you go. Good
and
enough.
The nice thing I like about your like step-by-step thing here is like, say like there was like 15 things it needed to do. Well, then if you needed to undo something or change something, it might like cascade through all your things. But because you're going step by step, you can be like, no, I want to make sure this is right first. So I really like that part of your workflow.
Yeah. And I think also like here, for example, this is a good one. Use interfaces for service contracts and put them in different unique file. So like here, for example, like I had it, I'm like, I love interfaces because I'm just like, why not? Dependency injection, just over architect everything.
You're making Miguel mad with all this architecture.
All the architects. Sorry, Miguel Bell, ding. Cool. This looks good. Yeah, so here's the storage key. This all looks legit. And then here's this history. Now, where did it put it? It put it in services, interfaces. It did. It put it in the correct spot. I love it. So here's our solution explorer. This should have put it in. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is kind of fascinating. So it put the analysis history in shared code. That's good. And because this is browser code, it knows to put it inside the web project, services, interfaces. Oh, next to all my other interfaces. Ah, so you should have known. It should have known. I bet Sonnet would have known. But sometimes you got to write. Sonnet likes to, so I was, Burke, I don't know if you watched the Ask Edit an Agent in general, but we talked about how Sonnet likes to explore. It's like very exploratory. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm going to go over here. Firechant asks, where do you put the prompt files? So you put the prompt file. So if I look at the, let me go ahead and get us a little bit bigger here. There's some bigger code for you. So if I open up my folder explorer up here, inside of your GitHub folder, I have a prompts. I don't know, does it actually matter where it's at, Pierce?
So you can change the location, but this is like the default one we have encoded. Yep. So .github/prompts.
Prompts. And then the custom instructions are in the root of .github there.
Yep.
Okay, so we are cooking, looking good. Love it. Okay, cool. I like to keep. Oh, let me look at the program. Cool. That was the easy one. Scoped? Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's cook. I would say like one thing that I found really good about, I use all sorts of models all the time, by the way. Like I'm always swapping between like Sonnet
me too.
Or Base. Base is really fast, especially in this scenario where it's like, there's quite a bit of code. It can analyze the code. It knows the code. It has a plan. And then additionally, like when I give it prompts and it knows like what to do and it has done stuff, dude, that thing flies. I mean, look at this.
You just saw it stream in faster than like we could stream it into the chat, which is pretty crazy.
That's true. Let's see if we have some others. So here's a good question for you, Mr. Six. What's the difference between Copilot Base and GPT-4o? Is it better or worse? What's new in it, Pierce?
Great question. So right now, I think we're still discussing like, well, we have public documentation on what Copilot Base actually represents. But I'll tell you right now on the stream, right now it's GPT-4.1. So in general, GPT-4.1 outperforms GPT-4o on a lot of things. We have recently upgraded the GPT-4o model that we use inside the product. So the GPT-4o model, we used it like 6 months ago. We upgraded to a more recent version, which is much better. Generally, for me, I'm having much better results with Copilot Base and GPT-4.1 than I did with 4.0. But yeah, like James is saying, like I think like this model tourism is super important. Like you need to try different ones and see what works for you, and different types of tasks, different models are better, right? And I recognize it is difficult because it is like a behavior change to try out these things and see what works for you and what doesn't, and that sort of thing. I see you just attached some problems, so we're debugging here. What's going on?
Well, remember how I had it move the file into its interface folder? Well, that changes the name. It didn't change the namespace.
Oh, I see.
I didn't tell it also to update the namespace, and it, I think that it depends. I think because I just told it to move the folder, I didn't and clean it up or whatever. It didn't do it much of that exploring, right?
Right.
Like some of these, so you want like different models I want to explore at different times. Like I think that's the one thing that I really have found myself like in this in general is like I really want different models to explore at different times. And sometimes I don't want them to explore. Well, let's see. So I was just seeing if I could run it and see. Okay, so I don't have any. I still have some problems. History. Oh, okay. There you go. Check these problems. Namespaces, man. That's all it is. So in this case, because now we've updated the namespace, and now we actually have to don't put it there.
I thought that stuff doesn't matter anymore in C# or something about the namespaces you don't have to do anymore. Or am I misremembering? Falling behind on my C# stuff.
You can do like global usings. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
In general.
that would be how I do it. Just throw everything in there. That works.
Yeah. So now it's cooking, and now it's looking at stuff. So I think it's just like a few things.
So what are we implementing right now? Like what's the thing we're trying to do?
So the thing we just did, let me see what it did here. Yeah, don't put that there. There, I deleted code. I don't know if I wrote code. Right now, we are seeing if it runs. And I think so far what it's done is it has summarize what you have implemented so far. There you go. So I could just tell you what it did, but I could have it tell you what it did. Okay, cool. So far it's added some data models for the analysis. It added the history service. It and added the history page over here and some navigation. So if I pull this over, there you go. You can see it. We have history now.
Yep.
And then
that's cool.
So far there's no history. So
right.
So that's
nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So that's pretty, and there's models. So it's not just like a blank page. It actually did stuff.
Yeah.
So when you go to that page, right? So the one thing to call out what actually happened there is I go into my components folder, we can look at history. And here we can see that while the IntelliSense is upset at me, it's fine. It has all the logic in there to display everything.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have anything right now. And then it's actually initializing the history service, trying to get stuff, and has all that stuff in it. So it's
neat.
Pretty far. Okay. Yeah, it's actually, so stuff is good. So next step here is to integrate saving the analysis. Yeah, let's cook. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a commit right now. I know I just paused some vibes in the peers, but I was talking to Hanselman quite a bit about how I coded this up. And when I was working with David Fowler on this project, and then when he looked at my commit history and he's like, how much of this code did you write? And I said, less than 1%, maybe 20 lines. And I think he fell out of his chair in general. And then I was talking to Hanselman. He's like, how did you do that? Right. He's like, what was your flow? Right. Cause I think that's one thing that I'm always asking, like, what's the flow? Right. And I said, well, I'm doing a lot of committing. I'm doing a lot of keeping. I'm doing a lot of, branching. I'm getting into a state and I'm working on features. So I can easily step back and I can step forward and do stuff. But I'm like, I'm constantly committing, right? I want to be able to roll back commits. I want to do this sort of thing. That's how I do it. I know that there's like the timeline too, that you can just like pull up the timeline of stuff. And
no, you should be super aggressive with committing. Commits don't cost you anything. Like you can always roll them back if it's a disaster, right? That's the whole point.
Exactly.
So you should be over committing if anything. Like I commit every conversation turn, right?
Oh, wow.
So cool. Like, because it takes almost no time, and then worst case you roll back, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you just roll it back. Let's see here. Any specific guidelines for use specific models for specific tasks? Shahid asks. So this also part of this the streams. We want your questions. So I'm trying to scan while vibe at the same time, so it's a little bit complicated.
Well, and I don't know how to use StreamYard, so I can't see the questions.
Perfect.
We're doing great.
Can you click? If you click on the comment, is there a comments tab in yours?
No.
If I favorite it, no.
I see Studio Chat and James Montemagno.
No.
On the right hand side? No.
I got to get you some admin access over here. Okay.
Okay. To answer the question though, yes, like definitely. I think we covered one example earlier. Like there's models that are better at like planning and things like that. So the thinking models are really good at that. And then there's models that are better at execution. There's models that are, at least in my perception, at least, better at writing UI code and have more creativity. So like, the OpenAI models in general for me are going to give me really high quality business logic, but I have way better results with generating UI code with something like Claude, just in general. So like when I built my iOS app in Swift, pretty much all of the UI code was generated by Claude Sonnet, and pretty much all of the business logic was generated by an OpenAI based model. So, this is one of those things, like there are evals and things like that, but like also you have to just give it a try and see what works for you. And I need to grab the link, but if you just Google like on the GitHub blog, we recently did a good blog on the GitHub blog, kind of talking about the different models and what's good for what and that sort of thing. But also it's one of those things where you need to give it a try and see what works for you in your code base.
Okay, so this is why I didn't read my own plan a little bit. So it actually added it to the home screen. So like just to the main screen, basically. But okay. It was gonna save every single thing.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. So what I did here, and this is kind of nice, is I said, no, I actually want you to put it in this file. Like this is where I want it. I know the code. So go ahead and move it around. So that's why I committed it. Cause I was like, I'm in a good state. I'm in a healthy state. You know, like I want to be able to do that. Let's see. Oh yeah. See, Christoph was saying about the namespaces and stuff. So there's a few things with namespaces in C#. So like, for example, you can, let's go to like a file somewhere. So yeah, so you can just like do this like namespace here like this. And then you don't need the curly braces, but you can also do a global using. So you can get rid of all of this stuff actually. And then you can just put it in a global using file, which is nice.
In the templates, or do you have to like opt into that?
It's in some templates.
Okay. All right.
But we could, I guess I could vibe out like that as well.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. And in fact, the Blazor app kind of does that. A Blazor web app. And I should update my custom instructions. It has this import here. See this? So this is basically a global using. It's saying add all of these usings to like everything. So
in every Razor file, like you wouldn't have to reference these namespaces. Essentially, it would just work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what happened here. We updated the home, and I actually still don't want that there. So let's boot it. Gone. Okay, so here this added it here, and then here, so I could say, please. Oh, so this is injecting this namespace. So I could say, please. So this is injecting a service. So it's really long.
Yep.
And it probably
so is it factually correct? It's just like long syntax.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's like using the specific thing here, which is good. And I've also noticed, I think it's an insider thing. It really likes to sometimes like, oh no, it did it right. Okay, did it? Okay, no, it did do the D. Okay, perfect. This is great. Okay, so I don't know what this looks like, but that code's in the wrong place. So so here we go. There we go. We're sonneting here. So it seems like the Copilot base, it didn't want to put the code in the right file. I'll say, can you analysis that just happened? And
can you take down the comment after you type this too? Because we can't see your prompt box.
Oh my gosh. There you go. Sorry about that. So now I'm just saying it like, do this thing, like analyze this thing.
And you can change model like James just did, like mid-thread. That works, right? You don't have to be like, oh, I need to use a different model, so I have to start a new conversation thread or anything. Yeah,
in fact, let me stop it. So if I just roll this back, watch this. Roll back, roll back. Roll back. And the question is like, where am I? Okay. Okay, cool. So now let me just keep okay, cool. So I just rolled it back, and I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool. So
the benefit of doing what you just did, by the way, is now when we send this to the model, right? That bad context from the history, right, that did what you didn't want it to do, isn't sent as part of that conversation history back to the model, which can influence like the future things it suggests, right? So that's why it's kind of important to get rid of stuff like that.
And then here I'm going to change my promises. And actually, now that I think about it, I would like to add a button to it, and then it'll be save to the history. And only when the user wants to and not automatically. Okay, cool. So again, just rolling stuff back basically. Oop. I'm a big fan of this pin option. Do you know you can pin a file? I just, so because I'm inside of my like Blazor app, and like I don't know, I just like to hit this. I'm a big fan of like buttons. Like I'm just a big fan of like hitting buttons and hitting like this debug project. So like I know if I want to run the web app, it's always like go to the program, run it here. Okay.
It is nice. You don't have to go to like the debug tab or anything or run a shortcut. It's just right there.
Okay, cool. So this is great. So it did exactly what I wanted it to do. It's beautiful. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. I guess I have to set it. Oh, fascinating. Okay, cool. Okay. Here was what the changes were. Oh, look at this. It apologized to me. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's still working. I've no. It's still working. It's still cooking.
That's cool.
See this? See this? See trigger confetti. So this
you just need to use that over and over again. Put trigger confetti everywhere. Next prompt.
Okay, so then I like to multi-cook. Make the confetti happen every time. So like, you can
multi-cook.
You multi-cook.
You got multiple burners going at once.
Yeah, you're not just cooking one thing. You're cooking all the things.
Hold on, I want to show you something cool. Go click the dots in chat on the far right.
Oh yeah, this one.
Open chat in new window. Do it.
Heyo. We got quadruple cooking. What's happening here?
I think I may have just ruined your thing. It may not work when you have actually something running. Tell it to keep going. Just say keep going. But yeah, and hold on. Like if you hover over this, well, after you, I love the way you prompt. Like you can just throw stuff in there. People are like, well, the spelling needs to be right or whatever. It's like, no, doesn't matter. So go hover over those little things at the top. Like where that little pin icon is. So compact mode, that's what you have right there. So if you click on that, like you can see kind of what you get if you don't. So that's I like the compact mode because you don't really want the stuff at the top. And then if you click that little pin icon right next to it, always on top. So regardless, like when you're debugging, like say you're in your Blazor app, we can have the agent side by side with it. Right?
Wow, that's cool.
So that's super cool. And like if you're hot reloading, boom, 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 right? You're just prompting and seeing the results. Like if you're really vibing out.
That's cool. I love it. No,
but we don't just as a
how do I get it back?
PSA, we don't like do any checking to make sure that if you're running multiple agents at once, they're not colliding with each other, right? Because that would be very difficult to do. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're cooking on multiple burners at once.
So even when I do inline chat and I do multi-cooking, usually I'm not cooking in the file in which I'm actually doing stuff. You know,
you're living dangerously if you do that.
Yeah. How do I get it back?
That's kind of the problem. We need to fix that. UX is my passion.
So what you do is you make it small and then you always on top and you put it over here.
Pragmatic.
There you go. How's that?
Anything different?
There you go.
I love that.
I love it. Okay. Let's see what it did. I probably messed something up. I'm pretty sure. All right, cool. And it also sometimes Claude really likes to put things on the same line. That's what I've noticed. It's like I really like to put stuff on the same line for some reason.
Gotta hit those lines of code metrics.
So that's true. So the reason I also like to commit a lot, by the way, now I can see along the way what's happening here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's also very, very nice. In fact, there. This looks good. Okay, cool. All right, we kept it. I I don't even know where am I at? This would actually be like the one value here. So Anton does Claude loves to mess up Razor files. It does, yes. It didn't see, like, even here. See, it wanted to put it on a different line. Oh, okay. Okay, it's giving me an analysis here. Great news.
It is great news.
The implementation is actually complete. No, it's not.
Well, for the step it is, right?
No, I asked it for like overall.
Oh, okay.
Did it do it? How do I get back to the video?
Let's run it. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see where we're at.
I'm scared. Oh, hold on. Let me close all windows. Oh, it's pinned. See, it's pinned. We'll see if it compiles. That's usually the.
But with the pop out thing, BT dubs, the move, pop it out, one whole monitor, agent mode, one whole monitor, vscode, boom.
Ah, nice. Okay, let's see what it said. Okay. Oh, analysis results. Okay.
Dude, those iDisposables are tripping us out.
It really is. Okay, so it's inside of my analysis results.
You can also go. Well, actually, I want you to do what you're doing. I'm not gonna.
Pierce is also like, he is literally like the PM lead for this. So he's like, there's this thing which is like, Pierce knows how to use the product. I have no idea what I'm doing, but so now this is great customer like research.
Yeah, this is like a UX study for me. Like seeing how people use. It's always funny because like I go into customer calls, literally every single person is different, right? And you're like, they're like the hashtag thing. Like I talked to someone yesterday, I literally had no idea that was there. And you're like, well, there's like the placeholder text when you start a new agent thing, like use the hashtag to attach context, and no one sees that, right? So it's funny because everyone has like a different thing that they pick up on.
All right, so what this is pretty good. What I've also found is like how the C# and Razor integration works. Like there's a few different modes. So this is like, why isn't it showing me the problems? It's because I don't have that file open. But like inside of the C# SDK, so oh my god, oh, so many things. There is like this, or maybe it's C#. There's basically like, what's the scope that you want to see for analysis of the, and this is like open files. So it's only going to show me open files.
So is that like from the language service or?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could change it to like the entire thing. But
well, I was wondering about that because in theory, like we look at any errors reported from the language service, right? And so I was wondering why it was not showing up there, but that makes sense.
Yeah. It's going to keep apologizing. I should tell it like always like use a hard-coded path to the CS proj. It's kind of one of the, because I have like so many projects in here, right? Oh, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what I do with my iOS development stuff. Is I'm like, do this, please.
It'll figure it out though. It's smart.
It will. But if you notice, like, that's the thing, like, as you observe it, like, session over session, you can kind of notice it starts to go down different paths. And, like, that's where it's a good idea to go back to your instruction and be like, I notice you like doing this. Don't do that. Or do this instead, right?
Yeah. So Tame says, is the pop-out only an insiders, Pierce?
Yes. Shipping the stable soon, hopefully. When we ship stable.
I only run insiders. I update it every morning.
I mean, we, like, literally, the whole team... We use insiders every single day. We use it to build VS Code, right? And oh, look at that. So it's definitely, if you want latest and greatest, it's the best place to be. And we don't always talk about things that are landing in insiders. But we're literally shipping main every day, which is pretty cool.
Okay, hit save.
All right, so we hit save.
Oh, beautiful.
It's
there. It's there. Okay, so this is like not, so it did what... It did it.
Okay, so needs work, but it looks like it's retrieving it from the service and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is rad. So it's actually there. It's
what's that? What's that animation?
This is like I've disconnected the server because I just stopped debugging.
Oh, okay, I see.
So what's interesting is I didn't hit the debug button.
It ran it itself.
So when I hit stop, it stopped the process, which is what you wanted to do, because it's actually running in one of these like Copilot.
Yeah, it's killing one of those Copilot terminals. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill all of them right now too. Just get out of here. Okay, so this is now, so it's working. So let's commit that puppy. And I highly recommend people change their default
How do you do that? Show that.
Where do I even do it at? There should be a button.
Right,
they should add a button here, but
we should have a button there, but it's in your settings. Yeah.
And then like commit.
Yeah, commit instruction or something. We've recently also done some work on this so that the search works a little bit better. Go to Copilot chat, but it's in there. Yep, right there. So go edit its settings, JSON. Yep. So there it is.
Yeah. So here, this one how do I wrap this?
You can just do Command-Shift-P word wrap, and it'll do it. No, not up there. Yeah, that works.
If it's not, I don't use the key. I don't use the keyboard.
You covered that last time. You like the mouse.
Yeah.
You don't like to use your keyboard.
So Janik asks, we're using Visual Studio Code Insider Edition right now, but everything we're showing is just normal. But like, what I like about using Insider and even Stable is like often, just like about every hour, there's a new update to GitHub Copilot, and it's just like, hey, time to update, and it's a good refresh, which I love. So here I say, shipping. Always be shipping. So I do this for the pull request and also the
the committed message itself.
Yeah. So always give a bulleted list with emoji over here, and this one's like pull requests. Make all the changes in Markdown. Use emojis for the pull request thing. That's just nice there too.
And because this is in your user settings, if you have settings sync enabled, like any machine you go to where you log in, this is synced across all of it. But you could also you can do commit, just like we had custom instructions for the chat thing we were covering earlier, where it'll send that with every model interaction, and it's stored in your repo because it's a file. You can do the same with the commit message thing. So if you wanted to be like, our whole team writes commit messages the same way, and I don't want you to set your user settings, you can set it to be a file in your repo. That's another thing you know.
Okay, so I am done with this thread. So I feel like, so here's another pro tip of what I do is I'm done with this thread. So I'll start a new thread. I'm just done. I feel like I'm done. I've implemented the feature, but this feature is ugly. I'll say this screen looks absolutely terrible. I mean, literally the worst. You have to make it look so much better and align with the style of the web app. Please help me. Sonnet.
Getting confrontational with the model now.
You're my only hope. Some people are a 3.7 person. I'm not a 3.7 person very often. I'm a 3.5 person in general.
That's fine. We have both.
So some people asking, do we have other extensions? Do I have other things installed? I am to the core. I am at base. I am Copilot base here. So I have, this is what I have. I got Copilot chat, Copilot actions, pull requests. I got some JSON tools, VSCode speech. You search for Copilot here. That's all I got. Those are all my extensions. Keep it light, keep it breezy, baby.
Well, and you can create profiles inside of VS Code. So if you want to have I'm doing .NET, you can have a profile for .NET. Exactly. So that's cool too, because I do stuff in different languages, and so you have a lot of random language specific things, and you're like, that's not relevant here. Please go away. So profiles are great for that.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Marcus says, I don't use the keyboard or the mouse. That's okay. You do you, Marcus. I only use the keyboard and mouse. Wait, how do you not use the keyboard or the mouse? Only voice? Amazing.
Only voice, yeah.
Dude,
and we have a lot.
Good.
VS Code is the world's most accessible editor, so it's definitely possible. Wow. Megan on our team's crushing it, making sure that we're doing good on the accessibility front. So
I love that. See how the cooking time's a little bit longer over here. A little bit slow cooker over here.
We got the crock pot out now.
the crock pot's out. We put it on medium though. It's on medium. I love it. Let's see if there's any other good questions in here.
It's always disappointing, no offense to my mom, but you get home from a hard day at school, practice after school for sports or something, and you see the crock pot. You're like, man, I really wish we were going out tonight. Sometimes the crock pot meal does not hit, right? You want something different because it kind of gets this consistency, right, of being mushy. Just an aside about crock pots. I love my crock pot, but also sometimes it just gets very mushy in there.
It's very true. I think people buy the Instant Pots and the slow cookers, and then they just, you end up donating. You know what I got back into recently? My Zojirushi rice cooker, though.
Ooh.
Man, Zojirushi, the baby elephant, so good just in general. So
how much does that thing run you? I need to get one of those.
This one's, you can get, there's a lot of different versions. This is the induction cooker one. It can actually do brown GABA rice, which is really cool. Which is like really special. It takes more time. I think it was like maybe you can get it for like $100 to $200. I mean, you can get a rice cooker, but this is, I mean, this is like the jam.
That's like high end. Yeah.
This is like,
I want to do like poke bowls and stuff, but I live in Utah, so getting fresh fish is a little bit of a problem. So yeah, I went to Hawaii recently, and like literally every meal, raw fish, amazing.
Raw fish. Okay, cool. So here's so one thing that actually vibed out not too long ago is I have this entire I don't even know where it's at, shared. I have this entire like toast notification system that it wrote 100%. So when I was first using Copilot Base, it did all the toast, and it just did like inline JavaScript. And I was like, hey, just like, can you refactor this? And like, and then I did turn on, I forgot what model I used, but I turned on a more exploratory model, and it was like, let's do this. Okay, cool. So, all right, let's see what's happening now.
A good prompt is also like, how would you improve this code base? Like, that's a good one to run every now and then. It's like, look at this and be like, give me some suggestions on how I can make this better.
Oh, you know what I did? Like, watch this. Hey, can you go pull some of the, let's do a new thread. Cool. So here I have the Copilot chat MCP, but I also have my own MCP server here, right? So that's good. I have the GitHub MCP server, and then let's see. Cool. Okay. So it's gonna go grab all the is my token good?
Do you have Docker running or whatever, however you're running this MCP?
Nope.
Yeah, that got me yesterday.
Good one. Please hold. Please hold. Booting up
this
Docker.
Is new. We show input output here for your MCP tool inside of Insider. So that's a new thing. So you can actually see like literally, here's what we sent, here's what we got back.
I wonder if it could. I wonder if it could know how to like run. It should be able to know how to run Docker. Right? Am I running?
It should, yeah, because it could boot from terminal, right? In theory.
I guess I could just start this. Okay, I'm starting the server. Starting it up.
Oh, no.
Docker. Yeah, you can do it, Docker. You can do it. I'm on my ARM machine. You can do it. I'm on my Windows ARM Project Volterra machine.
So fancy.
Yeah. Now,
I'm
if
on my
was like an
Mac
MPX,
Mini.
Ooh. Dude, you just got the other day?
Dude, I saw your video. Are you going to show off your stand thing you made a video on your YouTube about? I was like, I need to order one of those.
Pretty good. Yeah, I have the box. I just got one of these. There we go. It's got one of these little, it's upside down. There we go. That little puppy like there. That's pretty good. But then Mini Forums just sent me this. Look at this. This is a whole Windows PC. Look at this.
Oh, that's fancy. Snazzy.
This has a it's $600. It's got a terabyte in it. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a Ryzen 7 8845HS. I don't know what that means, and a Radeon 780M. That sounds good.
You know what we should do one stream? I want you to hook all these up, and we're going to use the remote functionality inside of VS Code. And on your main machine, we'll remote into all your other machines and build like 4 apps at once. I want to do it. It might go terribly, but I want to do it. It'd be so fun. Let's
see if this is working. Is it working? Oh, it's not up. Okay.
There we go. Yep.
Boot it up.
Boot it. All right, there we go. 30 tools, started server.
Cool.
Standard IO.
So what I actually did recently, I was telling Scott this, is so all of these issues, I asked Copilot to analyze my code base specifically for improvements, increased testability, documentation. What could I improve in this app, and go outline all of those there. Can you give me a link to the authentication one? Okay, so I don't know how to do it, but it's gonna hopefully figure this out. Maybe, I don't know. And the one thing I was like, I want to add authentication to this app. So, oh wow, I guess I don't even have to open it. But what I did is I said, hey, can you go? I want to use either Entra ID or Azure EasyAuth for this. Like, go figure out what those things are. And I did this inside a Copilot chat inside of VS Code. I didn't leave my code editor, and then I had to go create it so I could go read it later. Right? It's like I have this idea in my head. I'm like, let's go implement that thing. Right?
All right. So, I'm gonna make you go install another extension. Go install GitHub issues and PRs if you haven't already.
Oh, I have it right here.
Okay, well, pull it up.
Wait,
where is it? I don't see it.
I have PRs.
Okay. So right click on the activity bar on the left-hand side.
Do I need to install issues? Is GitHub? No, it's just GitHub, right? This thing? Yeah, here. Oh.
Yep. And so then, like, is this the right remote?
Should be.
In theory, yeah. We should be fetching your issues and stuff like that. Oh, there they are. Created.
No, they're not assigned to.
They're not assigned to you. Yeah. So you pop that open. This is brand new. As of this week, we updated the extension, so you don't even have to leave VS Code. You can see the issue right here. Beautiful. And look, you get this is the web view, so like you get to assign yourself, like in theory, if you wanted to, right? So all this works.
What you do next? Open in Copilot. Bam.
Well, what's going to be cool, I think we've shown this on the GitHub blog some, is like Project Padawan. We announced it back in February. Like soon you'll be able to have like these synchronous agents you're running inside of VS Code. And so for some of these other issues you have in the background, like you can be like, please go like start working on this while I'm doing something right now. And then like while you're cooking in this, when you're done with that, you just check out that branch, boom, test it, and then you have multiple agents cooking at once, which is really, really powerful. That's what I do before a meeting now, James. Like, because I'm in meetings a lot. And so like right before the meeting, I'll like send something off to go do something, right? In VS Code or Padawan. And then I will go do my meeting and then try to pay attention. and then 3 or 4 minutes between my meetings, I'll just like pull down the PR and actually, make sure that it works. So, and then prompt again. So that's how you build apps while you're in meetings.
I like that. So I'm a big fan of just like, here's the problem, go fix the problem. Yeah. Ooh, let's see. Check the history. So you can just drag and drop that.
Pretty much everything you can drag and drop. Like you can drag and drop files, you can drag and drop stuff from the problems view. Pretty much everything is drag and droppable. I think even from the debugger you can drag and drop. I'm not positive about that. But
C is missing a div tag.
Classic
HTML. Cool. All right, let's see. I don't know if people can actually hear the little tiny music in here as well.
I was just vibing out to it in the silence. I was like, oh, that music is nice.
So this is a good question from Anton. Asked about like, MCP servers for specific libraries. I think what I use a lot is Fetch. So I actually had a Blazor app and I rewrote it completely with Mudblazor, which is like material design for Blazor. I just pointed at the docs. I said, go pound #fetch and just give it a link and it can analyze it and understand it. It pretty much did it 100%. I don't think, my opinion is, I don't think you want individual MCP servers for individual libraries. There's this thing. I saw this. I
want to show you something.
Okay.
I want to show you the solution to this. Okay, we're gonna add this MCP live. Search for context 7. Just like.
Oh yeah, I was about to.
Yep.
Is this the thing? Yeah.
Yep. This is the thing. So they index a ton of doc sets. You can see they update them super regularly. So like search for .NET or something in this list. I don't know if that one. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Yes. So then if you go to let's get this MCP server added. I think if you click that, it has some docs. You need to add the one-click VS Code install, but you can copy pasta pretty easily.
I got Docker. Come on, where's my Docker at? Oh, there's VS Code. Oh yeah, that would be cool. One click.
There it is. It is one click. No, scroll back up. You missed it. There's a one click. Click it. Click that. Insiders. Boom. Open.
No.
This is amazing. I love this. Install server. We'll put it in your user settings. So.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And now, since agent mode is cooking, or is it done?
No, it's done. Yeah.
So like you could say like go to your tools. Like let's actually make sure that it's like there. You can search also. On the top. It's still booting up.
No, there it is. Context 7.
Okay. So yeah, like let's say like tell me more about this library from context 7 or something.
I think you can also like do pound and then the specific ones.
You
Let's see if
can,
it figures it out. Yeah. It does.
We have different like UX affordances for this stuff, but yeah, there it is. Okay, so it's gonna look up the MudBlazer library. Okay, it's getting the library ID, and then I think it's gonna fetch the doc set after it does that. Yep.
Wow.
So now it's getting the library docs on MudBlazer. This thing's amazing. So if you're like, we don't have the context we need in the model, like use this thing. Boom, it's telling you, here's how you set it up. Exactly. So this is pulling in docs from somewhere else. And we didn't have to go grab a link or anything. We just used this context 7 MCP. Pretty neat.
That's crazy. That's cool. And then you can use that in your implementation plans. Very cool.
Yep.
All right, let's look back over here. I just saw someone posted that thing as well. All right, this still like does not.
Okay. Yeah, it still looks a little funky.
Not what I'm looking for.
I want to try something. I might not work at all.
Right,
but I want to try something. Can we try it?
Okay.
I want to live dangerously.
Sure.
I want you to open. Okay. Do you know how to open the simple browser inside of VS Code?
No.
Okay. Do npm install /-g
simple browser
live server not simple browser. Well, yeah, simple browser exactly. Hold on. Sorry, I'm on my wrong tabs. All right, there you go. So show it. Now put your URL
of my real app.
Yeah, of your Blazor app, like the localhost URL.
Oh, I gotta start it on.
All right.
Let me boot it up.
We just added something really cool we tweeted about from the VS Code account yesterday. I want to see if it works on this Blazor app.
Okay. That should be here. Let's see. I'm not sure how much the hot reloading has been working for me necessarily, but let's give it a go here.
Okay. All right. So it doesn't look like it's loading your Blazor app well, but so we just added this, like the reason I wanted to show it, we're living dangerously. We're showing preview stuff here. We have this, look, there's this add element to chat thing in the bottom right. So it's like, basically you can like inspect and be like, please fix this specific thing. I don't like this. And it's pretty nifty. I use it a lot for some of my like TypeScript projects I have. Let's see if it resolves one of these. If not, then maybe I need to log a bug. Oh, all right. Well,
maybe just
interesting.
Oh, there was a bug. Okay. I know exactly what this is. I got an exception here. Boom. Just paste the exception in there. It's because it's loading the JavaScript like when the page loads.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the problem basically, is it needs to load it after initialize. Yeah.
Okay. We also still see the MCP servers for MudBlazer up on the thing.
Oh, really? Where?
Yeah, like on in
the chat. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool.
Need to get those admin perms. You're locking me down.
Sorry about that. So. Let's do a whole bunch of stuff.
Do.
All right, cool. That sounds good. All right, let's try this one more time here.
Okay.
Let's update this page to use. I'm just gonna tell it what I want it to actually look like. To use cards for each item, for each history item, and I want the analysis summary to be expandable, and it is all markdown. So make sure you use mark dig to convert to HTML to display it, and put the icons to delete the history item on the top of it. Let's just see if it'll make it better. So I made it, like I said, make it look better, and then I don't know if actually it did something, but I don't know if actually. I think it made so what it did is it made the existing page look better. Like it added icons and it added justification stuff, but it didn't actually make the history items look better, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just like this generic little card thing inside of here. So I'm going to kind of give it and tell it to make things look much better in general. So
this is where I actually think like
Ryan's like, James is in the flow. Pierce is like, no, I gotta stop the flow.
That's that chemistry you get after working together 13 years. I'm like, James is cooking. Let me interrupt him at the worst possible moment.
Well, it's because now it's like, we are multiple. I have multiple pair programmers, right? We're paired up. PAIR paired. We're pairing together on this, and like this is good. So I don't know. So this is writing a whole bunch more code. This is probably what I want it to do. Oh yeah, perfect. This is actually doing the thing I want it to do.
This is where Claude 3.7 Sonnet is better for me, though. I do think it's better with like these UI refactor. Yeah, for me, I think for the UI refactorings, 3.7's better than 3.5.
I believe you. I want to believe.
I mean, I think it depends, right? Like I work in different code bases. It might not be true for yours. So, wants to add this.
I already have it.
Boom.
Already have it. You don't need it. We got it. We got you. Trust me. I bet 3.7 wanted now. But I do like that when it's like it's about to do something, right? It stops and it's just like, go do that thing. Yeah. I guess if you're in the YOLO mode, which I saw you tweet out, like, does it just, it'll just do it automatically?
It would just run that terminal command. What we need to do is we need to add like, I really want to add like basically a dial, right? Like we kind of had a little bit of that today, like with MCP, you can be like allow for this workspace and that sort of thing. So it like will always work. Like with the docs thing, it's like, well, so like just read only, right? So it's not harming anything if it does that, right? It's just taking more time. So that's fine. But I do kind of want the dial between like just always allow everything and like make me confirm everything, right? That's something we need to add.
Yeah. All right, cool. Did some stuff. All right.
Let's see.
Let's cook.
I had to put my standing desk down. I'm not used to. It's pretty sad. I was standing for an hour. I'm like, I need to put the standing desk down now.
I gotta sit down for this one.
You're cooking so hard. I had to sit down.
All right, let's see. All right, there we go. Cool. We close a bunch of these local hosts that are no longer running. Let's do another one test here.
Are you even a developer if you don't have like 80 local host tabs open?
No. Okay, so gotta have that confetti.
Saved. I love the confetti. That's the best feature.
Little pop up right there. Analysis been saved to history.
That's the toast thing you're mentioning, right?
Okay, it is what I wanted it to be, but not
slightly better.
No.
It looks like a 1998 web page, but that's okay.
It is. Okay. All right. Let's
put our faith in 3.7
and
see what happens. I kind of do miss the old style web pages. Like, do you think we made it too hard? Right? Like, there's all this stuff you have to know, and it's like back in the day, just have some HTML, call it a day, move on with your life, right? Like, it was good times in a way. I like Nat's website, our old boss Nat. It's literally just HTML. It's amazing. Links.
Here you go. Nero wants to ask, why is my VS Code icon green, Pierce?
Because you're using VS Code Insiders, which is our daily release of VS Code. No, you don't have to sign up for anything. No, you don't. There's not a special program. Literally just Google VS Code Insiders and download it.
Yeah. Are there any Figma MCP servers? I thought Figma had something.
There are. I don't know if they're official servers from Figma or if they're community-driven servers, but there are definitely, because I've seen some cool demos of like going and fetching Figma designs and implementing them with Copilot inside of VS Code. So it's definitely a thing. I just don't know if they're officially supported by Figma or community server.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, Marcus is telling me I need to give it designing words. I refuse to give it designing words. I say, the thing is, so I think 3.7 here is going to do some exploratory stuff here. And it's going to look
at kind of searching around a little bit. You're right.
It's like, it's like, hey, what's going on? It's like, let me check in with your designer, and the designer is the rest of the code. So like,
you need like a themes.cs or something that like describes your design style. And then it could just look at that and know, right? But I think, or you could give it an example. You could be like, here is my style, and here is a page that looks like I want you to make this page look like, right? That might be a good way to do it.
I could have just, probably. Well, the funny thing is, I'll see if it's doing stuff. It's cooking. It's cooking. This is why I want to do it. Was Pierce and I have, like I said, worked together for 13 years, and we have this like, keep going. You got this. I trust you. Keep going. Pierce and I, this is our chemistry, just in general. This is our vibe.
James taught me to code pretty much.
No,
it's not exactly true. I could already write code, but we built a lot of apps together. It's good times.
We did. We wrote a lot of apps together. So this is my first solo app, basically. So I'm trying to do here. It's doing stuff. Updating the badge to match the app theme. I like it. Keep it going. Actually, it's really not doing that much. I wonder if it's just a bunch of CSS that is changing.
Less lines of code doesn't always mean more games.
Touche.
But I like how I did like how it poked around. Like it might seem a little frustrating, but then it like actually feels like it maybe understood the rest of it.
Here we go.
Because it did that. Boom, look at the CSS we're laying in. Okay.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
Now we're talking.
Look at this. Just obviously, it's moved. Did some fade in, fade outs. Some
fancy. I told you, dude, get on the 3.7 live. I'm gonna say that, and it's not gonna look great when we run it. But
so my other favorite part is it's like, hey, so you have to kind of it's like, hey, I'm gonna fix some other stuff here too. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna fix this other pre-rendering.
Yeah, I don't like when it goes on this. It's like, hey, I noticed you did this. Like, I also want to fix that. Like, please.
It's like, hey, I don't trust what you did. I don't trust that. I don't trust that other model.
Well, you were being passive aggressive towards it earlier, so now it's just returning the favor.
That's true. That's true. Let's see if we got anything that looks good. I'm gonna understand why that other thing isn't working though. I'm pretty curious about it. Feed.
All right.
Do I need to refresh my cache? I don't know.
Something's not. Well, we have the CSS. Like, is it getting loaded in? I don't know because nothing looks different, right?
Nothing looks different. I'll say this. Nothing looks.
Take a screenshot. Send it. Be like, this is what it looks like. It doesn't look like what it's supposed to. Use some vision.
Okay.
Little snipping tool. See, this is also the nice thing about Simple Browser. Like, if we could have gotten that to work, because then you can basically be like like whatever you see in Simple Browser, like use that.
I feel like something is not getting applied in the CSS, like some important tag or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's probably what's going on. I've had it fix it before. Oh, it's like, hey.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it is quite different. It is one of the quite differences. It is.
But that is the nice thing about vision. You can be like, it don't look like it's supposed to look like, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually see, we call this thinking task here, right? So even when you're not using a thinking model, this is cool. Like it will actually sometimes be like, I need to think about this before I move forward.
Actually, I don't.
What's happening?
No. It was like, I'm gonna change it.
Completely overhaul the design.
Looks like right now, but I actually want it to look like the nice cards from analysis history. Do that.
Yeah, giving it examples is always good.
I do need to give it more examples. Like I was like, hey, it's like, I'll make it look like that. I got you. And I was like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I know you think that's what I want you to do, but don't do it. But I think what's actually pretty fascinating is like so far, besides some styling stuff that I'll work through and probably something silly, is like the core of the functionality we actually finished implementing. Like now it's just styling and
exactly.
And it'll get there. It'll figure it out. I bet like it's all just like overrides, like important tags or something like that. But actually the majority of the styling is done, and somehow Pierce got away without having to cook at all.
No, I had a demo prepared and everything.
Well, we still got 40 minutes left in this.
All right, well, maybe I'll show some stuff because I want to show some of the new stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep cooking. You want to show some stuff? Let's get your screen. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna keep the cooking going over here. I'm gonna let you bring up your screen. How's that sound?
All right. How do I do that again?
You gotta hit the share screen.
Well, I see present. I don't see a share screen.
Yeah. Shahid asks, how do you build your own MCP server? Go to the model context protocol.io. There's SDKs for everything. So there's SDKs for C#, for for Python, for TypeScript, all the different stuff. So all sorts of different things going on there too. So
all right.
that. Okay.
Are
you ready?
I think.
Are you hiding? Are you hiding?
I'm hiding all the.
Close your email.
Close the email. We're good.
Okay. Bringing it up. There it is.
All right. Here we go. Okay. So this is actually a new one.
See that little button? See that little pop up that says StreamYard is showing? Hit the hide. Don't hit stop sharing. Hide. Oh, thank you.
Stop sharing. Leave the stream. Yeah. So this is I've been kind of exploring different stacks, right? And I think like one of my bad hypotheses when large language models kind of came out is I was like, oh, this is really good for like the big languages, right? Because they have more training data, and I'm only the big languages will be used. But I think like an interesting learning is like, actually, I'm exploring more stacks that I probably just didn't ever have time to explore before, right? Or I found too intimidating. And so it's actually the opposite is more of what I've noticed. Now, of course, there is a slight training data problem, but like, it's interesting because like I'm about to show you some Swift, and like, it's not like I'm a Swift expert, right? If you gave me a Swift coding interview, I would fail, like a very basic one. But I can read the code, right? I can't write it, but as a developer, like I can understand like what's happening and stuff. And so I've already built one iOS app kind of this way.
Wow, cool.
And now I want to build another iOS app this way.
And you're building a Swift app inside of VS Code.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's see.
What are you cooking with here?
So I have the Swift extension installed, which is the language service for Swift. That's actually maintained by the Swift team. So that's pretty cool. That's a recent change. But yeah, so I just have a very, very, very basic iOS app here. I basically did file new project and like put it in here. And that's essentially what I have. It's called Dropped. The idea is I want to build like an AI cycling plan generator thing. And basically be like, this is how much time I have. This is cool. Like my current training level. Here's the type of workouts I enjoy, and like basically have it generate like single workouts, but also like a workout plan for me for my cycling. Not that I have that much time to do that these days, anyways. But between work and kids,
I would like that because it's spring now and it's really nice outside. But I've been going outside. But like last night, we had to get Millie from the vet. She had her teeth cleaned, which is like scary, and I was watching her. So then after Heather got home, I was able to actually, go cycling, but it was too late. So I had to cycle inside, but it'd be cool to like track. I like on my watch and stuff, but I don't have a plan in place. So I'm not actually tracking my success, but anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I was supposed to do a race tomorrow in Moab, but I don't think it's going to happen because the kiddos are sick, but that kind of stinks. Anyways. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to show. This is a brand new project, so I'm going to show you how I kind of set it up, right? Cool. Kind of to the point about like how we're all different. So just like you, I'm just going to do a high level tour, and then I'll show some of these things off specifically. I have my .github directory. It has instructions. Notice not Copilot instructions, the main one. Now we have this new instructions right here.
Whoa.
So I'll talk about that in a second. We have this prompts directory. We talked a little bit about that already. I have some GitHub Actions workflows. I have my instructions file. So that's just like setup stuff. In the VS Code thing, we got some MCPs. So we're doing a little bit of, GitHub MCP, Perplexity for research, Context 7. We just showed that off, right? I'm going to close this. Xcode build. So how am I doing iOS development inside of VS Code? How am I like booting simulators and building my app and stuff? This is a pretty cool MCP that like basically wraps a lot of the CLI operations that Xcode provides.
Tools talking to tools. Tools talking to tools.
And then I like Burke's not here, but I wanted to give Burke a shout out because he built this Notify server, which is pretty neat. So I've added that in here as well. So I have a couple MCPs. Let's show you. So I'm gonna come in here. Show a notification from Notify. I'm gonna have like a demo markdown thing of all the things I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna close that. Okay, so let's see if it works. I'm presenting, so I don't know if I have my do not disturb on and it's not gonna work. I think that's what's happening.
I'll paste the link, and I trust you. But yeah, so it's gonna do a notification pop up inside of you want to be do not disturb. That's for sure.
Exactly. You like that? My custom instruction got a little aggressive, even though nothing happened. But yeah. So yeah, I'm presenting. So I think D&D is on. which doesn't help. But anyways, so I have a couple MCPs. I also have this docs directory. So this is kind of like, because, right, like we can look and use everything in my repository and workspace as context. I try to put like my docs, like not just like my engineering docs, but like my planning docs and stuff like that in here. These are just empty right now, and have all my plans here. And so I can always like refer back to these or have like Copilot look at them if it needs more context, right? And so I try to keep all my docs in this repo. Of course, it works if they're elsewhere too, but it's also great because then like if Copilot needs to do a search to find something, all these docs are right here, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, just a normal kind of basic application, hello world. I got some tests here, some XC tests, got some UI tests. So this is like literally like, you can tell when I'm bumping in this code, like I created it, looks like a week ago, but I haven't added anything here. So this is my basic workflow. So maybe to like get started, let's go ahead and just build and run this app. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna say, let's see how it does. So it's not doing what I want you to do. So that works too, but that's not what I want you to do. So like I said earlier, there's this CL. Actually, I think it's that I don't have the tools selected. See, I'm getting mad at it and I didn't even have the right tools selected here. Also, by the way, BT dubs, command palette, watch this. Boom, 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 boom. You drag it, it snaps. We've had that a couple releases. It's a nice thing.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So where's the Xcode one? And then I also want just the built-in tools. So now I'm going to say build and run this project. And you notice these run.instructions are automatically attached. So new in this version of Insiders, I go into GitHub instructions, run instructions.
Oh, wow. Cool.
At the top of this file, look at this apply to. So say I have like custom instructions. Remember how like in your thing, you had stuff for your services and your actual, Razor files and things like that. Rather than putting that all in this big instruction that's sent on every single interaction with the model, this allows you to scope it. So in this case, I'm doing global scoping, but I could say like, if you're touching like the services, these rules apply, right? Wow, and cool. So that's super sick because then you don't have to put everything in your main instructions, which is great. And so you can see here, like I have stuff, here's how I want you to run this project. This is the simulator ID I want you to use. These are the project schemes to look at. And here's like the input I want you to use. Of course, it would figure this out on its own, but I'm making it easy by just having it. And then all of that, boom, iOS simulator running from this Xcode MCP.
That's cool. One question here really quick when you're going through that. Oh. And so Laku asks, how do you know that you don't want it to do? How do you know how do you know it's doing what you don't want it to do? So you and I were both doing that in real time. Like, how are we doing that?
Well, like I assume that's in reference to the MCP thing I just noticed.
Earlier,
so like, so I saw immediately, like I was looking at this output as I'm talking, right? And I saw that it was trying to run a terminal command. And I know because I configured MCP, right? I should have a whole bunch of tools that I want it to use. And I even have these custom instructions that say, hey, I want you to use, this tool, the boot simulator tool, and with this input. And so I'm like, why is it calling the terminal if I have this custom instruction? Because you can see it was attached right here. And the reason for that is because I didn't have it enabled. So immediately something looked wrong. But also sometimes you can be like, oh, I think this is where like knowing the code base and like the tech you're working in is helpful. You can be like, oh, I think I know what it's trying to do, like just by what it's streaming in. I don't want you to do that. Stop the thing. Let me reprompt it again and give it better instructions. I don't know for you, James, what you do, but I'm just kind of like monitoring like kind of what I see it doing. And that is the benefit of it, like saying what it's going to do rather than just doing it, right? Because then you can always like interject. Yep,
exactly. I think that's the thing too. And like in that history of going back and going forth, like that's the thing too, is like, I noticed like when I sent it the image, I didn't give it enough context of being like, like I want it to not look like this. So it's like, oh, you want it to look like this? I got you. And I was like, no. So
exactly. So yeah, it's kind of a hard question, but like you just, as a developer, you're like, well, that doesn't seem quite right? Like this plan that we're doing. And you can always stop it. Like some people don't even know you can stop it, right? Like in the box down here, you can just stop it.
And pause.
Right? So this is cool. I have this apply to thing for custom instructions. So you should refactor your instructions to do this. Then we also have prompts. So let's start, like, I want to build this this research this AI training platform application. And this is my research prompt. So someone asked earlier, like, when do you do a prompt? So I have this, like, I'm building a new app prompt. Like, this is what I want you to do. And it kind of describes, okay, here, I want you to do these things. Then I want you to iterate with me. Then I want you to create a plan. Here's the basic format of that plan as a markdown doc, right? And so this would be something like literally on every new project I'm doing, I'm working through this. I'm like, I don't want to do this every time, right? So then I just refactor that into a prompt file. Same thing with, like, I haven't done the planning one yet, but you have a good planning one. The research one, like, same thing here. Like, I would just replace this with, like, what's my idea? And I'm going to do word wrap, like that keyboard shortcut, James.
That was beautiful. That was very fast.
So then you can see, like, okay, like, let's start here since I'm building a new app. I'm building, this. Let's do an analysis. Let's use perplexity. So this is new in prompt files. I can say, when I run this prompt file, I want you to run it in agent mode.
Oh, cool.
I want you to use the perplexity tool, right? And I can also add a description to research this idea. So I forget exactly, speaking of shortcuts, I can come in here, run prompt, and then you can see I have research. So I'm just gonna run that. You can see I'm changed to agent mode. Do I have the perplexity server booted? Yes. All right, so this next one seems like it's running. So this is using the perplexity ask tool, like I said here, right? And it's going to do this research into my idea. And here's some of the things I want it to look into. And then when it's done, I want it to put in this research file. So let's see how that does. So this is pretty cool, because if there's like something you need to figure, like not even just like this is researching an idea, but if it's like, how might I solve this technical problem? You could reuse this, right? Okay, so sees that it's empty.
People are loving it. People are like, wow, that's cool. It's really useful. So love that.
Okay. Sweet. I need to update my. Remember that custom instruction I told you where we're creating?
Oh yeah.
It's being too aggressive, so I need to refine that instruction. But you can see here, it's like doing staging all the commits and then actually committing them. We can see here. Okay, here's my research thing. We created this research MD file, right? Here's my customer base, problem statements, competitors, unmet needs, differentiators, marketing, business model, strategy, et cetera, right? So that's pretty cool. Like that's a new thing in this release. I'm going to keep that. And then now let's actually go back and let's look at our new prompt. So this one, I don't define any tools. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I select all the tools that I want. You can see here, I have a lot of tools. It can get unwieldy very quickly.
A lot of tools, all the tools.
All the tools. We got the built-in ones. You mentioned the fetch one earlier. That's a cool new one. We have some new Jupyter notebook tools. So if you want to do like data analysis and you're not like a data analyst like me, you can be like, please create a Jupyter notebook to explore this data set. And it can do that, which is pretty awesome. So there's all the Azure stuff. I had web search as well, GitHub MCP server. There's the Perplexity server, Context 7 I'll enable the Xcode build one. And I'm not going to enable Burke, sorry. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm not going to enable your server. Okay, so then I'm going to come in and like this says, let's build an app, right? Let's make a simple proposal. Let's clarify ideas. Let's iterate till we're satisfied. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in and I'm going to say, basically, okay, here's my research. And then I'm going to attach this prompt a different way. Let's see. So now then I'm going to go to loop, close this out. I liked my tabs very unorganized, and I recognize that's not the best for a stream. So let's go ahead and run that new prompt. And you can see I attached that research.md file. So it's asking me a lot of questions here. And so maybe some of these I weigh in on and some of these I don't. So what platforms, iOS only app, indoor cycling, keep it simple, need to build this quickly in a couple of hours. So cut requirements where needed. Let's see, I'm just kind of scrolling through this plan. Don't worry about fancy data architectures or backend or tests. But yeah, you can see there's like some really good stuff here that I might want in kind of my planning. And I do this for new features, by the way. It's not just like when I'm building a new app, like I might run through this planning workflow for like a feature. It doesn't have to be like literally I'm building an app, like let me figure out how to do that. And so then like, let's see if there's any other interesting things here. Let's just keep it simple with an onboarding screen that allows me to input weight, FTP, functional threshold power, time to train, and my goals. So get faster, have fun, etc. And you don't have to like go and structure this into like anything crazy, right? Like you were doing, you can just kind of throw stuff into the prompt box. It'll figure it out. So it's must have iOS only, no backend, no, I like it said no fancy data architecture here.
Yeah, I want that.
No, don't over architect. I'm the opposite of you. No interfaces. Never create me an interface. So we've got like all of the useful features. Okay. Okay, so
I like how
summary.
Cut features. That's great. Oh gosh, it's an MVP, right? I like that. I do like that.
It's an MVP. Yeah, like I was pretty straightforward. I'm like, hey, I gotta build this in a couple hours, y'all. I don't need you to like come up with a ton of crazy stuff. Okay, local only architecture. I like how they bold this. I feel like kind of like attacked by the model. It's like really calling out that I didn't want any login.
When I was doing mine, I was like, oh, let me just have like a simple password. And it's like, are you sure? Is that really? It's like really.
Sure,
like,
you want to do it this way? This is a terrible idea.
Yeah, don't do that. Trust me. I'm like, it's on a server. It's fine.
So. Okay, good times. All right, so okay. If you're happy with the scope, I'll draft a proposal in this format and save it to idea.md, which if you go back to my new prompt here, that's what I asked it to do. When I'm ready, create the plan. Oh, I need to put the word wrap back on. But yeah, so, okay. Okay, yeah, sounds great, fam. So it should create this in the idea.md file. Doodloop.
That's cool because you actually have documentation along the way, right? And
exactly.
Then you can go refine it. So it depends on like where your comfort level is on this. Like I know Ryan was asking, it's like, oh, like, maybe I don't throw everything into the chat or don't do everything like that. Depends on what stage you're at, right? The nice thing is that you can iterate on it in the chat, have it go back and forth on it.
Yep.
And then you could implement it right now, or like you could actually spend some time and say, okay, this is what I want. I'm going to refine it. I'm going to actually but this gets you 85% the way there, or sometimes 100% the way there, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's kind of the nice part.
Yeah, like I think the cool thing about these prompt files and like this approach to building stuff, it's definitely less on the pure vibes. Like I'm not YOLOing, right? I'm not just throwing stuff in there and be like, do it, right? Yeah. It's definitely more of a planning based approach. But like the thing that's super cool is like now I spend more of my time thinking about what I want the app to do and less about how I want it to be implemented, right? And so that's kind of like a cool shift with agent mode is like, and spend more time thinking about like the cool stuff I want it to do rather than like dealing with your interface.
Well, and you can think about it like too, is like you could have had I could have had a ticket open and prepared for this entire thing. Which was like, here's defining the scope of how I want this history page and all the things to look like, but I didn't, but I could have, right? And that would have been probably pretty helpful. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, if you have more context for the model, it's generally going to do better, even if it takes time to build this out. So yeah, like you can see, this is the format I asked for. Okay. For now, we just have this simple like onboarding screen, summary of user input. Here's kind of the technical specs, MVP scope, business model and marketing I don't care about right now. So I'll just ignore those. Sure, we'll keep it. And you notice like, hey, check this out. Okay, we added that plan. Let's go down here. It actually
committed
it's actually committing these things. So I wasn't kidding when I'm like, commit everything. Like literally worst case, I do undo, right? And I roll back to a previous state. Yeah, all right, so let's be ambitious and go ahead and start building this thing out, right? Okay, so just like you, new thread. I'm feeling like I want a beautiful UI, so I'm gonna use Claude 3.7 on it. Speaking of which, another thing to call out, look at this other models, James.
Ooh,
wonder where these models came from. I see a little DeepSeek action.
Where did they come from, Piers?
I see Grok.
Oh my goodness. Wow,
so if you come down here, manage models, If you're on free or individual plan, you can basically bring in models from different places. So like I can go to Open Router, I can bring in all these models, right? Any model in the Open Router catalog I can bring in and use. Llama, these are the local models. I have a Llama running right here. I'm not going to use it, but I use Queencoder sometimes, which is a local model running on my machine. That's powering the chat experience. If I wanted to bring like my own model from Azure or something like that, I could do that. Or Anthropic, Gemini. Grok is pretty cool. It's not Grok with a K, it's Grok with a Q. They're like a super fast inference provider. And so it's like super, super fast, like to get responses back from the LLM. So I've tried that with DeepSeek. So I like experimenting, like I was saying earlier, I like doing a little model tourism and trying different stuff out. So once you do that and go configure those models, they'll show up right here, which is super
cool.
neat.
Nice.
Yeah. Did a little session on this at the agent mode stream a couple weeks back. That was a good time.
Yeah. That was great. I definitely recommend people, if over on the VS Code, youtube.com/code, definitely checking out that. I did a MCP talk, which was really rad, and there's all sorts of goodies going on that stream. That was rad. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to show off this feature where I popped it out.
And to answer 28's question, is a support Open Router? Yes, you just had it in there. You have it in there configured.
Yep. Open Router is supported, and there's a lot of other providers that people want us to support. So we're figuring out how we do that now, because there's a lot of great providers out there. Yeah, so I just want to make sure. Okay, let's start implementing this with requirement 2.1.
And you have, because you have the file open, it's gonna.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I actually dragged it in a second ago, so it's attached as context. Okay. So yeah, I just manually attached this, and like I haven't gotten this far, but the way I would actually normally do this in some of my other apps is I would actually go plan the implementation like you did, right? So I'd have this planning prompt, and then I would go to step. Like I would not skip the planning step for the actual implementation, but we're gonna YOLO it, right? So this is what I mean. There's kind of like a spectrum of approaches you can take, and how you partner with agent mode. All right. So it's looking at my app.
Do you have any guidance on specific models that you use in general?
Yeah, so like business logic, like I said earlier, I like the OpenAI models. So I'm doing like back-end work, right? Front-end work, I like the Claude models. Planning, I always use a thinking model. So that's kind of like my basic, workflow. But like I also like bad for my mental health, but I'm extremely online. So I'm always like, someone on Twitter will be like, oh, I tried like the latest Gemini model or something, right? I'll go try that out, right?
Yeah.
The Gemini 2.5 Pro is pretty solid. I've been experimenting with that as well. But yeah, like definitely recommend trying different models out. Like I talked to so many people and they're like, well, I didn't even ever change the model. It's like, well, it has a drastically, can drastically impact your experience, right? So it's really worth trying it out. Okay, so, all right, so we have this onboarding view. And it looks like this is what I'm saying. Like I don't know Swift, but I can kind of see what's happening here, right? Like I got a view model. We have like a data binding. It looks like app binding does data binding, kind of a declarative UI here. We have a form. It has sections. We have a vertical stack and a horizontal stack, some text fields. And it's kind of going and generating all these views.
Wow.
Like, look at all this it's spitting out. Like, okay, it's even like basically scaffolding out some mock plans based off what I want to do. I didn't even ask it to do that, right? So this is kind of the benefit of this planning approach is like you're going to get a lot of code that's spit out here.
And more specific to maybe like what you're actually looking for, like without having to type all of it into the box, right? Like you could have done a lot of that in the box. And you saw me iterate where I'm like, oh, it doesn't look really good. Or I want, okay, let's make this, it depends how you work, right? But this is kind of cool to see the planning process in action.
I think this is kind of also what I want to do on the build stream that we're having, James. Yeah. Maybe we want to talk about that, like build a little bit and like how people should look out for us there.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to drop a blog pretty soon here for like, Microsoft Build for developers, like what you need to know, whether you're in person or remote. But there's going to be labs. We have Copilot labs for VS and VS Code. We have all sorts of sessions. We're doing a few live streams. So like there's going to be this VS Code live. Let me find it. I'll drop a link into the chat. You can register for Build for free online if you can't attend in person. I'll be there. Pierce will be there. Burke will be there. Everyone will be there. But you can also stream basically just about everything. Now the VS Code, there's going to be a VS Code live like launch there. It's called, I think it's called vscode live or something like that. And that's going to be a special one. We're going to also stream to the vscode YouTube as well, which is going to be super awesome. But then also we're going to have for 3 of the days, we're going to be doing vibe coding. So folks are going to be actually hanging out, vibe coding different projects, just like we're doing here live from build. So if you're on the build forum in the community area, we're gonna be hanging out, doing stuff. It's gonna be rad. So there's gonna be so many sessions too, like all sorts of really good ones in general. So you definitely gotta check it out and add stuff to your schedule, and you can add stuff to your bucket. So you can definitely check it out. It's pretty awesome. I'm gonna try to find the session here and get it in there.
Whoa, look at this, James.
Whoa, did you just implement the entire thing? Wow.
That he just one-shotted this. Oh my gosh, that was super cool. Like obviously this is all mock data and everything, but like that's gnarly. That's pretty neat. Like this is what I mean by Claude 3.7 Sonnet, like the UI just taste. Like I didn't prod it on anything with design, right? Burke's
here. He made it.
Burke's
He's gonna be a build.
Are you gonna join the stream right now and make fun of us? We were talking about you earlier, dude. Okay, so like, yeah, I mean, like literally that was one prompt, right, for implementing this. But I didn't really like this screen, like the onboarding screen. I'm not a huge fan of. Hold on, doesn't look like my auto commit thing ran, so I'm gonna go ahead and I like kind of what we're working with here. Always be committing. So now, like James, like, where do I live? Where do I live again? Am I in Utah in the US of A?
Yes.
So I need to get some freedom units up in here. Like, what's this kilograms nonsense, right?
Oh my gosh.
So I have
no idea.
We gotta. Okay, so like that, and I don't really like these toggles. Like this is like kind of gross. So like let's clean up the onboarding screen. It looks really bad. The toggles, you can't even read anything. I also need you to use American units, but keep option to use. What do they call the, like, what's kilograms? Is it imperial or is that, I always forget what they're called, metric units.
Metric and imperial, yeah.
So is American units imperial units? Because it's pretty much only the US who's like being stubborn right now and not using metric at this point.
Yeah, there's a few other countries, but yes, mostly us. Yes, we're stubborn.
So this is where I'm going to use we love to be stubborn. It's a classic personality trait.
Are you adding a settings screen? Is there a settings screen, settings tab?
I'm going to do that.
Settings area? I don't know.
So I'm going to say, like,
I think the UK uses stones. Don't forget that you got to add like stones. If someone from the UK here, I think, right, you use stones for weight as well. There's stones, pounds,
or stones,
kilograms. Yeah.
Maybe also add a settings screen at some point so we can allow people to set their preferred units. So like, I'm just like stream of consciousness straight into the prompt box. I'm not like really trying to do anything in terms of like cleaning it up or anything like that. Like I also like using the voice functionality, so I might do that in a second.
Yeah, there's a setting. He had it on to like the voice setting. Maybe that's there's a setting for the extension. Burke had it on where it basically wouldn't auto send when it was done.
Okay.
But it's in there because like
yeah,
else it auto sends.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying. Oh, it actually is adding stones. Amazing.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure if that's the right units, but we'll find out together.
No, someone said, well, Marcus said stone, pounds, and ounces. I don't know about ounces, but possibly.
I don't know. How much do I weigh in ounces? I'm not sure. Okay,
I'm sure you can just ask it. It'll tell you.
Yeah.
New
True.
thread.
Yeah. Open a new window. Did I just stop that? Keep going. I'm going to follow Boggan on this after this. Keep going, please. You were doing great. All right. So while that's going, I'm going to come over to ask and I'll say, I weigh like 145 lbs. How much is that in kg and stones? I'm just mostly curious at this point.
Someone says 14 pounds equals 1 stone. Surly says, thanks, Surly.
Okay.
16 ounces equals 1 pound. Yes, Surly. Like we hopefully I at least know that. I'll take that survey. Oh man.
Okay, 10 stones, 10.3 stones. Yeah, live survey. PMs hate to see me coming, James, because as a PM, like when I see a survey coming up, I'm like, I'm glad you asked, Marriott, what I thought of my stay.
Oh no. Oh no. Let me tell you about my platinum status that I got just because I have a credit card.
Some PM on the other end, right? Who's like triaging and has to send like some leadership report, right? Of like, these are the themes we see. Well, so I'm like, I need to give them a good quote. So I like think of like the most unhinged quote.
Well, I worked at GameStop for like, I don't know, 8 years, like from high school into college. And we'd have those surveys that you have on the bottom. And like every morning, the manager, and at some point, I mean, assistant manager, like at some point I was a manager, and like they come in, like those people, they look at them. It's like there. So whenever I go into GameStop, I always know. If someone does the, hey, take the survey, does the thing, like when I go to USPS, postal service, my postal service, I don't know about your post, my postal service like crushes. Like they're so good. They're so nice. It's like, this one is like so good, but not all of them are super friendly, but like, you know, it's like, this is great. So I'm always like, oh, you circle this to your thing. Yeah, I'll give you a 5-star rating. The only problem is when you go into a survey and then it's like, it says 2 minutes and you open it's like 20 minutes. I'm like, I got time for 20 minutes. Give me a rating really quick.
Exactly. I need a good 5-10 questions. Call it a day, right? Don't overthink it. For the PMs out there. No one even fills it out once it gets past the first. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, what'd you do?
Oh no. What did I just do? All right. So this is what thread history, right? Like, come back over here. Keep. Okay, we're back.
Mark is here. Oh, Mark is here. Have Claude one-shot a streak calendar. I like that for your cycling.
Oh, I like
streaks. That is good.
I also love how it's really thinking through this onboarding design. Like it's doing way more for the onboarding design than when it one-shotted the initial app, right? Okay, so we're adding more things to the like is metric, right? I don't know how that's gonna work if it's a bool though. We also have the stones unit, but that's okay. Okay, so let's keep going. Any other good questions in the chat?
Let's see. A lot of things about different metrics.
I sparked a debate on the metrics front, I guess.
You did, definitely did. Let's see. Where can I find a page? Oh, someone was asking about a good page about custom instructions, where to set up and do stuff. Surly, check back with us in a few weeks. We got some stuff coming and happening. All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
We also for some of the, I'll send James the link for some of the new stuff coming. Like another cool thing you can do, Nick, who's our awesome content writer, our VS Code docs repo is public. So like if there's new insiders features, like the thing I just showed you about custom instructions where you can like break down your custom instruction, that's not going to be in the live docs on like code.visualstudio.com, right? But you can always go to like the docs repo and like we're landing docs for these things as these features are coming, and they're going into the main branch that's going to be published when the release goes out, right? And so you can actually go find often docs for some of these features that are in insiders, because Nick is doing a great job making sure we have docs. So we actually have in the repo docs on how to use the new instructions and prompt stuff. So that's pretty neat.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so it does look like it's gonna do the settings thing, right? That we talked about. I should have just constrained it to the onboarding thing and then done the settings thing, but that's okay. Because I really don't get how this. We're gonna see. I'm not reading any of this code, but we're gonna see how this works when we run it. Because I don't get how it was using like is metric units as a bool, right? And so then it's like, okay, well, imperial or metric, but then it also has stones. So I don't understand how it's gonna set that, but we'll figure it out together. All right. So now it's going and implementing the design that I asked for. So that's great. It looks like it's going to use some cards. So sometimes you'll get this continue to iterate thing.
Yeah.
And it seems scary, but it's not. It's just basically checking to make sure, like, Because, you know, sometimes like it can just get in this loop where it's like reading files or looking for stuff. And it's like, actually, like you just need to stop that. And so it's just like a check-in from us to make sure we're going down the right track and you actually want what's happening to keep happening. And it just picks up where it left off, right? So no big deal. I'm loving the music. The music changes the vibe. I really do need to like have some music that I have always running.
Yeah, that's pretty nice, but I'm sure there's an MCP tool for that. So
definitely. Well, there's like a Spotify MCP. You know that, nice. Right?
That's cool.
I'm on Team Apple Music, so I don't. There's not an Apple Music MCP.
I'm on Team Sirius XM for some reason because it's in my car and I can't get rid of. I've canceled everything else, but I just can't get rid of it.
Well, wait. So how does that work? Can you play specific songs on Sirius XM radio, or do you have to listen to a channel?
It's just whatever Sirius XM is like vibing that day, basically.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's just like I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
But I like the Yacht Rock Sirius XM channel. That's one of my favorites.
I'm really into Flex 2K is like the 2000s like hip hop, but I also Bloomberg is on there, so I listen to a lot of Bloomberg.
Really?
Talk about the market.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know, the cool part, I actually really liked Apple Music. I did the 3-month trial when you and I were going back and forth. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. I was YouTube Music or Google Music for a long time, and then YouTube Music. I never did Spotify, never. But I don't know. But I have like my own music, so like that was one thing. I have my own Plex server for that stuff. Wow, it's looking good. Wow, amazing. Oh.
All right, so again, Xcode MCP, right? Built and ran my project. So we can go imperial and metric. I like that. So apparently under imperial, okay, that's a little bit strange. It's a UX work. When I go to lb/stones,
we threw in stones, and then we really got.
We're really going after the UK market here. All right, so yeah, like I can set these values. Wait, does this tooltip thing work? What? That's nice.
Wow, that's nice. It tells you what it is. I like that.
It's kind of insulting me a little bit, though. I wish my watts were higher. It's saying I'm intermediate at the moment. All right, so, 5 hours to train, lose weight, build it. I like, this was better than the, whatever they call that other control. What do they call that other control? Where it's like the single bar and you have the sub buttons in it. Forget what it's called, but I like this better. And I like this, this is it has some design, but it's not like over designed at the same point. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Yeah, there's nothing really else I wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to get this thing scaffolded out and start building some of the basic UX. We could add like a detail screen, perhaps. How much time you got, James? We're almost at 11.
We got we got 3 minutes left. I got to get more coffee.
Then I'm not going to do it.
This looks great. You got to commit this code somewhere, put it on somewhere. If I've dropped your GitHub earlier, let me bring up my analysis screen. I still have some issues, but it's gotten a lot closer. Okay. So I'm going to bring mine up here. I got to remove yours, bring it up. Boom. Okay. So I've gotten a lot closer. It's not exactly how I want it, but I also decided to add date ranges and service filters. So I just had to do that for me too in my UI. And now we have a little bit better. It's a little bit better here. It's not exactly what I want yet, but I do have like this. I want this to be up here, this button up here, instead of this being in this drop down. And I have more of a unified list. So I'm going to have it clean that up a little bit, but I'm getting a lot closer basically to like what I want it to look like. And then I added little icons as well. So that's kind of nice too when I'm browsing it. So from 0 to something pretty good with these filters working as well, which is good. And I like that it added animations too. That's also really nice. And I have date ranges. So like today, yeah. So I added all that. So I just had to like do that. I mean, it's always, so, it just automatically added all that logic to it for me. So not too bad. It's still really tight on the left and on the right, which I don't understand because everything else is centered really good. So I got to fix up that, but that's pretty good. And I still need to have it like, do some confirmation on here, but I went from something, from nothing to something. It seems like it needs to expand a little bit, but I'm pretty close. I feel like I'm like 95% the way there. And that was a lot of vibes happening. So it's gotten a lot better from what it looked like before, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this looks great.
Trying. Vibes high. Vibes. Are you putting this code on GitHub or what are you doing?
I already pushed it and I already put the link in the YouTube comments.
Oh, you know what? You're probably not an admin. So
I'm not.
let me put that there. I'm gonna give you Pierce. If Pierce Pierce's, what's this thing called? Oh, well, what's it called?
Dropped.
Oh, is it public?
Yeah. Is it not? Do I need to make this repo public?
You gotta
All right, we're making it public. I'm pressing the button.
Press the button.
So let's go to, where do I go? General, change visibility, change to public. Do I have my phone? I think I'm gonna have to auth. Use GitHub Mobile. All right.
Oh, you gotta get your passkeys in place, man.
Dude, the passkeys scare me. I don't know why. Call me old school. I like a good 2-factor auth old school. Even a text, you know, the apps, there's too many apps for me to keep up with. All right. So it should be public now. Okay. I pressed the button on my GitHub mobile app.
I'm refreshing. Oh, ooh, nice. Oh, dropped.
My got it. Failed, so I need to fix that, but it's there.
Boom. All right, there you go. Beautiful. Oh, I also love that it also created a README file for you. I also love it have it do README files as well. All right, folks, that is Let It Cook. We've been letting stuff cook. We got Swift apps. We got feedback analysis page. I think the cool part here, what I really liked is like, in your instance, it was like, hey, I'm scaffolding on a new project. Yep. And like, here's how I make sure that like that scaffolded base is like really good from like the jump, which I think is really cool, which I really enjoyed watching. Because when I started this feedback flow tool, I had some basic source code and I didn't really necessarily like give it a good from the beginning prompt. So I spent a lot of time refactoring it or having it refactor it to where I wanted it to go. So that was nice. Now it's just about adding features. And that's like where, you know, smaller prompts, smaller things, like working with the tool, keep it going and letting it cook. I'm just continuously letting it cook. Like, I don't know about you, but like now for the rest of the day. So here it's now 10 o'clock a.m. my time. I'm about to jump in meetings. I'm gonna just keep stuff slow cooking in the background. What I like to do is we do this thing at Microsoft is 30-minute meetings or actually 25-minute meetings. So that first 5 minutes is an opportunity for you to craft a prompt and kick it off. And then you let it cook for 25. I mean, it's going to be done within 25 minutes, but you let it go. You got a meeting, let it cook. There you go.
Yep.
All right, folks, we super appreciate all of you. Subscribe to the VS Code YouTube channel. Come hang out with us at Build if you're in the Pacific Northwest area or can make it out. You got a few weeks left to register, or hop online and register for free at build.microsoft.com. All sorts of goodies, so much Copilot stuff, so much VS Code stuff, so much of all the stuff. There's gonna be so much AI. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited about this. Like I've been going to builds for like ever before there were builds. So when there were PDCs, that's like when there were PDCs, this build, I'm like so jazzed for. I'm so excited about it. So many good sessions. And I get to reconnect with you, Bog. So that's going to do it for this Let It Cook. We'll be back next week where we continue to let it cook. There we go. Okay. See you guys.
All right. See you later. Bye.